Good morning, everyone. This is Rama On Writing coming to you live from a still dark Kailua Kona, Hawaii. Our weather has been nothing but spectacular, and I know that it sounds boastful, but I'm just trying to share something good. And today we are very fortunate. We have Catherine Carrigan on the line. She's going to help us clear some of our fear of being known. And as I had mentioned just prior to the start, you know, we all want to be successful authors, but if we could do that from our closet, we would really be more comfortable. So we're going to eliminate that uncomfortableness of being successful, being known. And I know many of us have little blockages related to that. So, Catherine, you're on.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I am a medical intuitive healer, and part of what I do is help people to clear blocks. And yesterday, Ram and I were talking, and he said that in this webinar, we're going to be talking about planning for 2016. And anyway, I offered to do a clearing for the group. So we're going to be doing a healing. Everybody who is here can participate. And if you're listening to the recording, you can participate also. And when I tuned into the group about what we as a group need most help with. And what I get is we need to overcome our blocks to being well known. And the reason that's important is that if you as an author become well known, then people are going to want to read what you have to write. So we're going to be doing a little process, and I'm going to be sharing with you the steps as we go along. But this is going to be a healing for the group, for those of us who are here, and also if you're listening to the recording, you can follow along and do these steps also. All right, so the first thing I want everybody to do is we're going to do a little visualization. So I'm going to ask that everybody get comfortable wherever you are. And I would like you to shut your eyes. And as you shut your eyes and as you're comfortable, what I would like you to do is visualize a picture of what you would look like as a person, as an author, as a successful author, and a successful person, what you would look like if you were more well-known. And as you are visualizing this, I want you to just notice whatever images come to your mind, let the picture show up. And if somebody was going to do a bird's eye view, what you would see and what others would see in your life if you were even more well-known than you already are. Okay? So getting comfortable with the picture, allow that picture to come to you. And as you're tuning into this picture, what I want you to do is I want you to actually listen and notice what you are hearing. Notice what your inner voice is saying. Notice what you're saying to yourself, okay? And then I want you to expand your hearing and expand your listening. And I want you to notice what other people are saying to you. So you're seeing the picture of yourself as more well-known than you already are, and you're hearing, you're listening to your inner voice, you're listening to what other people are saying. And now what I want you to do is I want you to move into the feeling state. And I want you to notice how you feel when you are incredibly well known for who you are and what you write and your books and all that you contribute to the planet. And notice your feeling state And I want you to notice where you feel these feelings in your body. Okay? And as you feel these feelings in your body, I want you to put your hand wherever you feel it in your body. Okay. Okay. All right, good. Now open your eyes. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do some clearing, and there's going to be several steps to this clearing. I've chosen some activities that are going to be really simple for everybody. So I'm going to click on share screen, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and what we're going to start with is we're going to start with some really simple EFT. So we're doing this as a group. So I'm going to demonstrate. So basically what you're going to do, you're going to take your two hands, and then there's a point right here, an acupressure point, and you're going to chop together like this. And I want everyone to repeat after me. You can either repeat it out loud or silently. And I want you to say, even though, if you'll repeat after me, even though I have this fear of being well known for who I am and my books, I deeply and completely love and accept, appreciate, and respect myself. Even though I have a fear of being well known for who I am and my books, I deeply and completely love and accept, appreciate, and respect myself. Even though I have a fear of being well known, I deeply and completely love and accept, appreciate, and respect myself. Okay, great job. Now you can stop there. Now we're going to go on to some other points. And I'm just being really thorough because we're working as a group. So on your chest, I want you to rub right here. And again, either out loud or silently, repeat after me. Even though I have a fear of being well known, I deeply and completely love and accept, appreciate, and respect myself. Even though I have a fear of being well known, I deeply and completely love and accept, appreciate, and respect myself. Okay, good. Now we're going to do some tapping. The first point is next to your eyebrow. So tap next to your eyebrow. Everybody's going to tap next to your eyebrow. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, and then to the side of your eye, tap, 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 tap. And then under your eye, tap, 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 tap. And then under your nose, right here, tap, 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 tap. And then under your lips, tap, 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 tap. And then under your collarbone, tap, 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 tap. And then on your left side at your spleen point, tap, 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 tap. And then go to your thumb. Squeeze your thumb. Tap, 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 tap. And then your pointer finger. Tap, 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 tap. And then your middle finger. Tap, 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 tap. And then your little finger. Tap, 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 tap. And then we go back to that point on the side of your hand. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, good. Now there's a point right here in this tunnel between your little finger and your ring finger. You're going to tap that. Okay, now shut your eyes. Now close your eyes. Okay, now open your eyes, look down to your right. And breathe. And open your eyes, look down to your left. And breathe. Now I want you to move your eyes in a big circle clockwise. Inhale and exhale as you move your eyes in a circle clockwise. Okay, now move your eyes in another direction, counterclockwise. Inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. Now look straight ahead and hum. Count out loud to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then hum again. Okay, good. All right, now we're going to go to a second procedure. Okay, now in this one, you're going to take all your fingers just like this, and you're going to tap a big circle around your ears. Now, basically, what we're going to do, we're going to tap in an affirmation. So tap a big circle around your ears, all the way around. Eyes open, look up, repeat after me. I am comfortable.
I am comfortable.
Enjoying.
Enjoying.
Being well known.
Being well known.
For who I am.
For who I am.
And what I do.
And what I do.
Okay, and then look down. I am comfortable.
I'm comfortable.
Being well known.
Being well known.
For who I am.
For who I am.
And then what I do. Now, eyes open, look to your right. I am comfortable.
I am comfortable.
Being well known.
Being well known.
For who I am.
For who I am.
And what I do.
And what I do.
Okay, and look to the left. Eyes open. I am comfortable.
I am comfortable.
Being well known.
Being well known.
For who I am.
For who I am.
And what I do. Now shut your eyes. Eyes shut, look up. I am comfortable.
I am comfortable.
Being well known.
Being well known.
For who I am.
For who I am.
And what I do. And eyes shut, look down. I am comfortable.
Comfortable.
Being well known.
Being well known.
For who I am.
For who I am.
And what I do. Eyes shut, look right. I am comfortable.
I am comfortable.
Being well known.
Being well known.
For who I am.
For who I am.
And what I do.
And what I do.
And then look to the left. I am comfortable.
I am comfortable.
Being well known.
Being well known.
For who I am.
For who I am.
And what I do.
And what I do.
Okay, great job. Okay, now I want you to shut your eyes and I want you to go back. Okay, and now I want you to, now I'm going to ask you to see this picture of yourself being well known from a larger perspective. I'm going to ask you to call in your angels, call in your guides, shut your eyes. Visualize your angels and your guides who are here with you, who are here helping you every day of your life and everything that you do with every word that you write and all that you contribute to the planet. And I want you to ask your angels and your guides to show you this big picture of what you will look like as a person and as an author, as a successful person and a successful author. If you're even now that you're even more well known. So see this picture in great detail. I want you to see the details. I want you to see the larger picture. And as you're seeing the details in the larger picture, I want you to zoom out and notice what other people would see in your life now that you're even more well known. And as you're seeing this larger picture and the details, I want you to listen carefully. Beginning with yourself, I want you to notice what your inner voice is saying now that you're comfortable being well known. I want you to listen more carefully and expand and hear what other people are saying to you. And since you called in your angels and your guides, I want you to notice what your angels and your guides are saying to you. and you're listening and you're receiving the message and you're allowing the messages to come down all the way to the cellular level. And then now what I want you to notice is your feeling state. Now that you're comfortable being incredibly well known, I want you to notice how you feel. And I want you to put your hand on places in your body wherever you're feeling it most deeply. Allowing this information to flow in all the way down to the cellular level, accepting it in. Now take a couple of deep breaths, inhaling completely. Exhale, let it out. And breathe. Okay, and then when you're ready, open your eyes. And Rama, if it's okay with you, I'd just like everyone to take an opportunity to share. We did a really simple little procedure, and I would like to hear from people, anyone who would like to share about, what they saw, what they heard, and what they felt, in that second picture. So if anyone would like to share what it is, the picture that you saw or what you heard, I guess you can raise your hand and Rama's going to unmute you.
Okay, Cheryl, I've got you unmuted.
Okay, good. Yes, I heard this is what you're meant to do. I felt a great deal of peace throughout my body, especially in my heart. I heard my guides telling me that we knew you could do it.
Thank you. That's very profound.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Cheryl.
Anyone else? Okay, Jill, I got you unmuted now.
Well, I got encouragement of that I wouldn't have been chosen if they didn't think that I could do it, and that I just have to trust and let my higher self receive what is being given to me. So it was just being vulnerable, feeling vulnerable and fragile, and just letting everything in, including the barking dog.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Sophie!
This is
Knock it off!
Okay, Og.
This is Augie and Bill in Tucson here.
Hi, Catherine. This is Belle Christine. It's so nice to see you.
Oh, hi. I can't see you, but I'm not sure.
Augie does that. I don't know why, but anyway, I've been listening with Augie the whole time, and I really appreciate it. What I saw was a past life where I was in the public, and it was very political and very painful, and I died. And I've been my whole life hiding, and so this is particularly helpful. And I know it's my mission to write. I haven't done it yet, but I want to say thank you to each one of you who are participating, because you've encouraged me so very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Belle Christine. And you brought up a really important point, because for each of us who has the courage to write, what we do is we show other people what's possible.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else care to share this morning? Okay, Lynn, I've got you unmuted.
Morning. Well, I came in a little late and was surprised by what was going on, so I tried to jump in. And then I have a mild aversion to tapping, so I had to work through that.
Me too, just so you know. right? But we did some other things as well, right?
Yeah, we did. And what struck me is how perfect the timing is for what I need, since my interviews start Monday, my radio interviews. There are 10 scheduled so far and more coming. So, yeah, when you talked about how does it feel to be stepping out there and being known for who you are to a large number of people, etc., there was like this much fear and this much joy. But, so we addressed the fear. So the timing was perfect. Thank you very much.
Yay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anyone else with a comment before we move on? Okay, Dominique, let me unmute you here. Okay.
I feel that I'm breathing deeply, and there is more lightness coming, because it was pretty heavy with all kinds of things, but it feels that it's possible. So, thank you.
Very exciting.
Okay, Catherine, let's go on to the next phase.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody.
Now, one of the things, Catherine, do you have anything else you want to lead us through, or should I talk for a while? Or
No, I think it's your turn, Rama.
Okay. The whole intent of today was to kind of, again, just like last week, I wanted to help everyone clear away what's holding us back. And, you know, it's such a perfect time of the year so that we can kind of leave 2015 behind us, and we can move into 2016 with a different perspective, you know, with more momentum. And that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about a little bit is, well, how do we accomplish all the many things that we, you know, we need to accomplish? I mean, many of you are working in one of Tom's author development programs, and the ones that are currently in that program are overwhelmed. The ones that have completed that or almost completed are overwhelmed as well. And then you attend some of my webinars, and there's more to do. And our brain normally, you know, comes up with these weird feelings that we're overwhelmed, we're behind, and we have to do everything all at once. And of course, that's a recipe for failure right there, right? It's like, well, how can we do everything all at once? And what tends to happen as a result is that we paralyze ourselves. We don't know where to start. You know, because we're so overwhelmed, we really, you know, just don't even know why we're doing it. And many times we can feel that, those feelings of, I can't think of quite the right word yet, but, you know, we get to that point where, you know, we think that no matter what we do, it's not gonna help. So therefore, we sit and we may not do anything. So what I have found is that it's a great idea to kind of to develop a list of all the things that we have to do. For example, we have to finish our revision, or we have to finish a step in our publishing timeline. We have to get our website up. We have to, you know, have a Facebook presence, a Twitter presence, you know, Instagram, LinkedIn, you know, Google Plus, Goodreads. I mean, and it goes on and on and on. And, you know, most of us have a pretty strong aversion to, you know, social media. Some of the reasons I suspect are what Catherine helped clear us of right at the beginning is, you know, becoming known. We have to, you know, have put on a face, create an identity. And, you know, in all seriousness, if, you know, we would rather write our books, get them published, and go on to the next book and not have to worry about any of these, you know, marketing components. And many of us, you know, even struggle with completion of the book. You know, we got started in a weekend, but you know, that's as far as that weekend took us. Now we have to actually complete the project. And, you know, I don't know about you, but I've always had trouble completing projects before I lose interest in them. And so these are the kind of obstacles that we all face. Not to mention yet blogging. I mean, you know, some of us understand what blogging is. Some of us love the word. Some of us hate the word. Some of us haven't a clue of what that means. And I was thinking before we started today that, boy, you know, we ought to take this opportunity to look at our blogging components. For those of you who were in some of my webinars over the last year, and I think Catherine was the one that sent me this this article entitled "The Blog is More Important Than the Book." And I know that when I say that to all of you, you kind of cringe a little bit. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, this book is so, you know, so important, and we want to be successful, and many of us want to, you know, make a living or a side living with our books. And so to hear Rama say the blog is more important than the book, you know, you start to think, well, what the heck is he talking about? Well, the real component of the blog is that it has the potential for the longest legs to get out there into cyberspace. The problem is that one blog doesn't go anywhere, 2 blogs doesn't go anywhere, 3 blogs doesn't go anywhere, and I can continue with my numbers until we hit a number like 20 blogs, okay? And you know, I think that I think it was actually Heidi Richards, who was a social media expert that we had help us out several years ago. I think she's the one that really opened my eyes to this whole process. You know, I always thought that successful blogs became successful because the author wrote about stuff that people were interested in. And that's only part of the story. There's a setup and there's a lot of back office components that make the blog have those long legs. Now, I'm not going to get into those components today. That's January 9th, so pop that on your calendar. That's going to be a very, very important webinar, and lucky for all of us, those are recorded and put up on the YouTube channel, Rama On Writing, so if you miss it, I encourage you to listen to it again. Greg's going to provide us with the actual back office components, and I'm going to talk about keywords and hashtags. Anyway, what I thought would be a great exercise for us is to put on our calendar our blog posting. Let's look at when we have our 20 posts and when we might have our 50th post, okay? And, you know, that, you know, if we're writing 1 blog a week, 50 blogs is a year. And if you think about it for a moment, we can hit that 50 a number of ways. We can do 2 blogs a week, and that means that 50 blogs will take us a half a year. We can do 3 blogs a week, and we can hit that in 4 months, Okay, so you get what I'm getting at is that there's no reason why we need to necessarily only post once a week on our blogs. And to show you what an expert does, Catherine, how many blogs a week do you post?
That's a good question. I don't really have I don't make a requirement of myself. I make it sort of flow. But I know, for example, I write a monthly newsletter that I send out through the email. The last newsletter that I did, I wrote 7 blogs first. I wrote basically a blog series, and then I published it all as a newsletter. So one way to kind of get going, I would think on the blogging thing, is to think of a blog series. So what's a blog series? So a blog series could be you pick a topic that you want to write different aspects about. And so my question is, does anybody have an idea for something that they feel like they could flesh out in multiple blogs? So does anyone have any ideas on that? Lynn is, I can tell Lynn's thinking.
Well, thank you, Catherine. I just wanted to share this component, and I'm not sure since I'm not usually in attendance of the author development webinars or the beta webinars, as Tom initially called them. Back several years ago, when we were developing some of the similar ideas, Tom would ask the authors to put a list of about 50 blog topics together so that, we didn't lose time each time we sat down to write a blog. We could spend an hour trying to figure out what we're going to write about. If we have a list of 50, we can just, okay, I'm going to write about this one today. And one of the things that he did was he had us look at broader topics, and then how do we break it down into this series? What are the titles for that sort of thing? Now, I don't know if Tom has done that in these new development webinars, and I haven't heard that he did, so I assume that maybe he didn't take that approach this time. But that is something that we can do, is that we can start to look at the bigger topics and then break those down into a 8-part, 4-part, 5-part, whatever we feel is appropriate, and then we can write these up, and we can sit down in an afternoon, a Saturday afternoon, for example, and we can write blogs for 2, 3, 4 weeks easily. Remember, I'm looking at the faces, and most of the faces have gone through one of Tom's programs that talk about the blogs. But just to give you definition again, a blog is a short piece. It's 350 to 700 words. And it does not have to be, the English in your blog doesn't have to be as refined as the English of your book. Of course, if you're writing a mountain bike book, then you don't have to worry about the refinement of English anyway. So, some of us have a little easier, approach here. But I think that if we start to think about the broad topics and then the subtopics and put our list together, maybe even lay them down on the calendar. Okay, this month I'm going to be, this is so easy for me. The next 2.5 months, I'm going to write blogs about adventures in Hawaii. Since I am here, it makes sense, okay? And when I'm in Sedona, I say, well, I'll write blogs about mountain bike adventures that I go on, okay? So it can be something as simple as that, or we can get into some very deep subjects. A number of you are writing really deep books, and if you care to, share some of the more details of that topic in blog postings, you can do that also. It's like we've got an open pad here, gang.
Rama, I have another suggestion.
Okay.
One of my best friends in the whole world is a painter, and she works on huge paintings that people will pay, at least $2,000 for. But in addition to doing these huge paintings, she also does smaller paintings. And to me, I think of blogging like sketching. So, for example, I'm getting ready to publish my 5th book. My 5th book is coming out in February. And what I did before I did this 5th book was I blogged about the topic. So I wrote, every day I would get up and just start blogging about the topic so that when I would go to write my book, that information on that subject was already flowing. So some people call this blogging your book, but I don't think you necessarily have to put the pressure on yourself to say that you're writing your book while you're blogging. But let's say you want to write a book about airplanes. Well, then maybe what you do is every day you get up and write something about flying or airplanes or how they're made or how you fly or what makes a good pilot. So basically you're writing all around this subject. And one of the things that helps me about blogging is when I blog, I don't feel like it has to be perfect. Again, what I actually do is I get guidance, and then I'll write about that. But in this, I know specifically for this 5th book that I did, the blogging was an integral part for me of actually getting ready to write the book, because I wrote all around it. And on my 2nd book, What is Healing, it's the same thing, because I blogged about that subject for about a year. And I remember when I went to write the book, I really didn't think I had any idea about what I was going to write about. But because I had been blogging on the subject of medical intuition for a whole year, when I actually went to sit and do the download of the book, that information was just really ready to come through. So, if you're working on your 2nd book, then one of the things you might want to think about is, what subject would I like to write about next? And then just start blogging about, and don't worry about whether it's perfect. If you think of it like a sketch doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be fully developed. Maybe you're looking, at just one aspect or the bigger picture, but just allow whatever needs to come through that day to come through. And one of the things that helps me as a creative person is that in addition to knitting, writing, I also knit and I bead. And I remember when I was making jewelry, sometimes I think, well, I don't know who will like this, but usually if I made something, someone would like it. And I think it's the same thing with blogging, because sometimes you think, this isn't any good. And then all of a sudden everybody responds to it and shares it and so on. And at other times you think, oh my goodness, this is so profound, and nobody responds at all. So I think that if you just pick a topic that you're kind of obsessed about, or you want to write another book about, and start writing on that topic, and then just trust that whatever needs to come through you that day will come through, and then put it in bite-sized chunks. It's a really good way, at least for me, of thinking about blogging.
Well, I like the analogy you used about the blog being a sketch, because when we hear the word sketch, we immediately think, well, it's not necessarily a completed work. And I think that we can get a little overly concerned, because we want everything to be perfect, everything that we say, everything that we do, and a blog isn't necessarily like that. Let me take a step back for a moment, and let's just talk about why we blog, and what the whole purpose of this is. I read an article a couple of weeks ago. There's a gentleman named David Risley, and David Risley is a blogger who makes money blogging, okay? If you haven't gone to his website, he does have a lot of great information about blogs. Initially, what he was teaching was how to blog for money, essentially. And in a recent article that I read of his, he changed his approach entirely. I think what he realized is that most people, if they blog and their goal is to make money off of the blog, they're usually disappointed. And so he kind of changed his tune and said, well, blog for the sake of blogging. Okay. Now, this is, I thought this was so appropriate because that's essentially what we are doing. Okay. We're not really blogging to make money off of the blog. We're blogging to promote ourselves, whether that means we have a teaching platform that we're going to leverage, like Catherine has, a coaching and a teaching process, or whether it's, more like my situation where I'm really just promoting some books that I have through blog writing. The concept is that we do need to get our name out there. We do need to share who we are to attract an audience. And most of us don't have a big mailing list or a big audience to start. Some of you do. I know Catherine had a newsletter that went out for years before she got involved with really writing her books. So she already had a list of people. I know Anaria is works with a lot of people. So she's probably got a list of clients and potential clients. And I imagine that some of the rest of you have things like that in place. But if you don't, it's the way to get started. It's a way to start attracting attention. And as I mentioned in the webinar on January 9th, we're going to talk about how to give that blog more legs, how we can get out there further. Now, you heard me mention a moment ago 20 to 50 blogs, and I may not have said it this way. In order for your blog to be found, just found, a chance of being found, you need those 20 to 50 blogs to be out there in cyberspace, okay? And this is real frustrating because we're going to write that first blog and we're going to post it somewhere, whether it's on our website, whether it's in our social media, however we end up by posting it, and we may not get a lot of action. People may not share, people may not comment, we may not even know if anyone read it. And it's very common to say, well, nobody's reading it, why am I doing this, and stop doing it as a result. And that's one of the big no-nos here, gang, is that we have to have this blind faith a little bit that, hey, we got to write these blogs, we got to get it out into cyberspace. And if you think about it, if you have one blog out there and someone finds you, they may tell a friend and they say, oh, Catherine's got this great blog, they're going to read it, but they're going to want more. If you have 20 blogs out there and somebody finds you, then you have momentum going, okay? They're going to say, oh, I just found this great blog that Anaria wrote. She's got 20 blogs on the different crystal skulls or, whatever, and you got to look at this stuff, okay? So you have a lot of momentum potential if the number of blogs are out there. So as I say, you kind of have to approach this with a little bit of a blind faith sort of attitude and just say, okay, I'm just going to crank these out. I'm going to continue to crank these blogs out and hope that at some point in time, someone's going to stumble on our blog. And that's really trusting the universe, which I know we all do. So this is one of those situations where it's trusting the universe, and if we deliver, then we're going to have the possibility of success. Obviously, gang, if you don't do it, if you write that 1 or 2 blogs and then, kind of lose interest, well, your chances of being found are going to be minuscule compared to the author that writes and writes and writes and posts his blogs. And as I say, in January, we're going to talk about the correct way to post this information, and how we can set it up so that it can be found in the search engines, and how we can brand our name and our identity into those blogs so that they track back to us. So put your numbers down on your calendar. Blog number 1, blog number 2, blog number 3. Lay them out. Start, I think Tom has most of you doing 1 a week, which is a great starting point, okay? And I want Catherine to share a story. Now, I know so much about Catherine because we've worked together for 3 or 4 years now. And, Catherine used to call me twice a week because she had questions. And she wasn't afraid to ask those questions. So, we shared a lot of information. Now, Catherine, there was a time when you told me you kind of took a break from your blogs and you noticed something result from that. Do you remember that story, and would you share what occurred? You don't remember the story, or you do?
I don't remember. Maybe you tell the story.
Okay. Well, Catherine was doing really good with her blogging. She had an infrastructure in place before she got involved with us. So I don't know if she blogged, but she did a newsletter. And so she had one of the key components together for continuing this process. Well, she, took a break from blogging. I think it was about a 3-month break she was talking about. And as a result, she noticed that basically her numbers dropped significantly. Her numbers of people that were looking at her blogs dropped significantly, okay? And I remember this, it struck me because, it was so monumental compared to how things had been going prior. And it wasn't like she was upset about it. She was just making an observation. And
That's right. Yeah, I think what you're talking about is the Alexa ranking. There's something everybody can look up how well your website or blog is ranked. It's ALEXA. Now I remember, I took 3 months off. I didn't blog. And the Alexa ranking on my website just dropped dramatically. I can't remember the exact figure, but basically the bottom line meant that people stopped looking at my websites. And if you run a business, if you're writing books to promote your business, or if you're writing blogs to promote your books, basically you want people continuing to look at your website and look at your content so that you're building the audience. And I do remember. And it was really significant. So, we have to basically continue to feed the monster with new information and, new sharings all the time. And a lot of times we don't think, anybody's out there reading. But if you have a WordPress site, you can actually see how many people hit your website and how many people go to your blogs. And there's interesting to sort of look at how many people are looking at your most popular articles. And maybe that's something that we can ask Greg to show us. But that's something that I look at. I look at what are my most popular articles, what are people looking at, and I try and give them more of what they're looking for.
As I said, this was something that struck me from listening to Catherine. And the bad news is once you start, you got to keep on going, okay? That's the bad news, gang. Now, one of the things that I think, again, Heidi Richards had mentioned to us in that first series of beta groups was that if you're going to write a blog once a week, you want to write it on the same day, or you want to post it the same day, week after week, okay? Just like we all make time to watch our favorite TV shows, if we're a TV person, people will look forward to your blog posting, okay? If it comes out Thursday at 2 in the afternoon, they're going to be ready for it. So, it's important for us to be consistent and not just, blog once a week, and one week it's Monday, the next week it's Thursday, then Friday, then Tuesday. We want to be consistent. We want to try to establish that audience that looks forward to it and awaits those blog postings. And remember that in most cases, this blog is a short piece, so how long does it take somebody to read a 500-word blog? A couple of minutes. So they're not committing a lot of time to it. So we do want them to, anticipate it. We want them to be there. There's no reason why at the end of the blog we can't hint as to what the next blog's going to be. Like a TV show, many shows lead to the next show. A sequel for a book, you always want to leave them hanging with knowing that there's more coming on that topic. So that was one of the reasons why it's beneficial to actually look at your topics, put them down on paper. Just because it's on paper doesn't mean you have to write that blog that day, but it does help us significantly if we don't have to think about what we're going to write about. Sometimes I can tune in like Catherine. Okay, I tune in, what am I going to write today? But sometimes I don't, and I can't. So it's good to have a list, and it's good to have some ideas there written in front of us. That's one of the benefits of moving into a calendar for 2016. And one of my favorite types of calendars is that big desk blotter type calendar, big, laid out. We can put a lot of information on those calendars. And when we're talking about managing 5, 6, 8 different social medias, a blog, a newsletter, we've put a lot on our plate. And so it may be very helpful for us to lay out on the calendar, boy, every Tuesday I'm going to spend an hour on Twitter. Every Friday I'm going to spend an hour on Facebook, or 20 minutes, or however we cut up our time. If we do something consistently, again, people will be ready for your post. They say, Jill posts on Friday, and she's going to, tell us another great story from her past, and we're all going to laugh because she's so wacky. Or something like that. We all have a lot to give. And I think that many times we don't quite realize that we are exceptional individuals, every one of us. And in most cases, we don't view ourselves that way. And so that was one of the reasons why we did the clearing before we started the discussion today, so that we can all look at ourselves as exceptional. And we can look at ourselves as, boy, there are tons of people out there that really want this information, whatever the information is that we are going to share. And it doesn't really matter. We can be light and funny. We can be serious. We've got control over what we want to put out there. And it goes down to the identity that we establish kind of with our digital marketing. Now, you heard me change from social media and blogging to a bigger term called digital marketing. Okay? Sometimes that helps because everyone's got this fear, not everyone, many of us have this fear of social media. So if we look at it as digital marketing, then we realize what it is we're doing and why we're doing it. Okay, Catherine, do you have anything else to add before I start seeing if we have any questions and comments from the audience?
I think the biggest thing is to make it easy for yourself. And we all have so much pressure in our lives and so much stress. So look at, when you set your goals, pick goals that you can do that actually bring joy to your life rather than putting pressure on you.
Good point. We can load up our calendar and our day completely with, from 9 to 10, I'm going to go on Twitter. From 10 to 11, I'm going to be on Facebook. From 11 to 12, I'm going to write 2 blog postings. And we can really schedule ourselves. But, if we're too heavily scheduled, then we may not accomplish it. And most of us, if we don't accomplish something on our schedule, it affects us. It's not like, I have a pretty good feel for this. I write my to-do list, and if at the end of the day I haven't done anything, the stuff or what I didn't accomplish goes on the next day. It's just so that I don't lose track of it. It's not relating to whether I accomplish it or not. But most of us, get frustrated if we have 20 things on the to-do list and only get 2 done. We view ourselves as we failed today. And what Catherine pointed out was that, hey, this isn't about failure. This is about success here, gang. So, do it in a way that works for you. If you don't like a desktop calendar, well, maybe, a different depiction of the schedule works for you. I remember Tom Pitts used to always do, circle diagram components for things like this, and that worked for him. So it's not necessarily the method that we use to schedule our time. It's, kind of looking at what works for us, and, just start slowly and build. Does anyone have any questions or comments today? This, as I alluded to, this is going to be our last webinar of the 2015. So if you want to wish each other a Happy New Year, you can do that also. If there are questions about blogs, if there's questions about getting started, this is a good time to look at them. The information can be overwhelming, and that's, what we're trying to avoid, is overwhelming ourselves to the point where I think Amy had analysis paralysis. I love that. That was a very, very cute term, but that's kind of what we can get ourselves into. And this is one of my favorite sayings. We are all really creative people, okay? I mean, we really are. We're great at coming up with reasons why we can't accomplish something, and we're even better at developing things that, kind of justify in our mind that, well, this is something that I need to do before I can start blogging, when in reality we've just made something up to keep us from blogging. So, watch yourself. Watch how your mind works. And when you see those sorts of things, it's easy enough to catch ourselves when we start to create these sorts of deterrents to moving forward. I'm great at it myself, this is one of the things that I excel at, and I've talked to a lot of authors over the years, and I've noticed that, we are really great at doing this kind of thing. So catch yourself, you know. Not behaviors don't change overnight, but it starts with catching ourselves with these things. We're publishing a book right now, Kathy Zip, who's not online today. I wish she was, because her book is really about these sorts of behaviors, you know. And the only reason I know that is I'm working on some charts of hers, and I'm looking at the charts and saying, "Dang, you know, this is right on stuff. She's talking about me here." So, you know, normally I don't, I wouldn't really know what her book was about, but the charts, you know, what do they say? A picture's worth 1,000 words, which is such a great segue into what Catherine has accomplished with her blog. Catherine attaches a picture to every blog. And when I first went up to her revised website, her website wasn't always this way, right? And one day, she changed the look of her website, had all these pictures. Well, initially, I didn't mouse over on her pictures, so I didn't realize that her pictures were attached to a blog posting. And so each of these pictures that she posts on her website is a blog posting. Now, this is, again, something I think we've all learned from Denise that have worked with her, is that pictures are what stimulates someone to click your link. And, you know, Catherine's always taken pictures, and these are pictures off her phone. You know, she's no great, you know, photographer. She doesn't have a, you know, a $2,000 camera and go around, posing these butterflies and stuff. She just happens to walk around a lot because she's physically fit. That's part of her routine, and she takes pictures wherever she goes. And I've picked up a little bit of that myself. So pictures are real critical. And as Catherine and I develop our game of social media, it's going to be heavily based on images, because we know that it's much easier to get someone to click through on something that has an image attached to it. Well, heck, you know, if we don't have any questions or comments, I'm perfectly willing to go have breakfast. It's now 7:15 Hawaii time, and as you can see, the sun, or the dawn has happened. You can see me now. The sun isn't quite out yet where I am, but the sun is out. Okay, Lynn, let me unmute you here.
I was just wondering, Rama, when will be your next webinar?
The next Rama on Writing is January 9th. And that's going to be Greg and myself, and I've coined that one branding your blog. And this may end up by being a 2-week endeavor. I'm not sure. You know, there's a lot of information that we're going to get to, and if Greg gets going and starts showing us some back office things, it may be hard to stop him. So we may have some technical stuff that we may need to talk about again in a different light in another webinar.
How about your Wednesday webinars?
My Tuesday and Wednesday webinars will start up again on January 5th and 6th.
Okay.
It's really that first week, the first full week of January, I'll be back.
Okay, and then one last question. Wanted to get my book to Tom for a soul read, and like right after the holidays. So when do you think he'll be open to that?
I would submit your manuscript on the 4th of January, which is Monday. Okay. There are already some manuscripts in his queue for that week. I can't get Tom to do too many soul reads in any one week. I think it's somewhere between 4 and 6, depending upon the rest of his schedule. So keep that in mind. I think there are a couple already scheduled for the 6th and the 7th at this point in time. I'm hoping that, people stagger their submissions, but I would encourage everyone to shoot for the 4th, maybe the 5th, but the problem is if I don't get it early enough in the week, that week is already scheduled by the time I get things. So the authors that submit something on a Tuesday and expect Tom to be able to look at it Wednesday or Thursday are really out of luck. That doesn't happen. Occasionally, if it's a reread or something like that, I can get it through, but I like giving Tom enough time, even though he may not look at it until very close to the consultation. It's all about having his mind free so that he can be open and clear. And he does a great job for us that way. But we got to be careful. And if you'll notice, Mary and myself, we really protect Tom's time. So we are very, very careful. And for those of you who don't know, in February of this year, Tom is going to get married. So that's going to take up some more time, even though he may not really recognize that. We understand that that's going to take up some of his time as well.
I'm sure.
I thought it would be really cool if we could actually put his wedding on Zoom and we could all participate, but I'm not going to be there, so that's just not going to happen. But I thought that would be really a cute sort of thing. Okay, well, look, I wanted to thank Catherine for helping us clear and really sharing her insights. As far as being a marketer, Catherine has really learned everything. She's studied everything that we've mentioned. She's excelled. In that group that she was in with the beta group, which was 2 or 3 years before most of you were involved with Tom. There were 5 or 6 people in that group. Catherine is the only one that did any of the work. A couple of the other authors did a little bit. Some of them did absolutely nothing. And that was a little disappointing. This is always Tom and my argument. Tom knows that it's hard to get the authors to do things on their own. I like to think that we can do stuff on our own, but he's usually correct. So we have to really step up to the plate this year and focus in on these little things. And, the best way is to get yourself one of those calendars, whether it's a notebook size calendar, whether it's desktop size calendar, whether it's just a piece of paper that we post up on our wall or keep on our desk. What I've found is that without putting these lists of things together, we miss a lot of opportunity. And I'm going to leave you all with that. Let's not miss our opportunities this year. Let's excel. We are all in a great position to excel here. This is an opportunity that many other people, haven't had. When I've looked at other authors' websites, and when I say other authors, I'm talking about authors that I found not relating to Tom Bird authors. I've noticed that they are all setting things up basically the way we do, and most of them are not as successful at the blogging and the social media. You can see that as a rule, authors would just rather write books. And I've gotten tons of emails from people. I want to hire a publicist so that they can do my this and my that. And my response is, well, you can hire a publicist, but they aren't going to do the this and the that for you. You're going to still have to do the this and the that, and you'll be paying them as well. So, let's all do the this and the that ourselves and put ourselves into a position of power. So in the instances where we encounter some, marketing program, a publicist, a publisher, we can come from a place of power and success so that we can get a better deal. Okay, everyone, you all have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, which has already started, Happy Festivus, enjoy your snow, I'll enjoy the beach, and of course, a Happy New Year. And just my favorite thing for New Year is to listen to the Capital Steps New Year's show. I don't know if any of you know who the Capital Steps are. They are a comedy group, and they are hilarious. They make fun of both the Republicans and the Democrats. I can't wait to hear what they're going to do with our Donald Trump guy. But I'm sure they're gonna lay into Hillary as well. So it's gonna be a good show this year, and that runs live and recorded. So check it out if you like to laugh. Take care, everyone. Thank you again, Catherine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to everybody.
Happy New Year. Bye. Bye.
Happy Hanukkah.
Bye.